Okay, let's dive in. For a while there, it really seemed like Google was on the ropes, losing the big AI war. But in what's been a pretty stunning turnaround, they are fighting back, hard. So today we're going to break down exactly how they're pulling it off.
You've probably heard this, right? For the last couple of years, with amazing new AI tools like ChatGPT and Perplexity bursting onto the scene, this was the narrative everywhere. And the logic was pretty simple. Why would you click through a bunch of blue links when an AI can just give you the answer directly?
And yet, just recently, Google's Gemini app hit #1 in the App Store. I mean, that's a comeback that pretty much defied all expectations. So it begs the real question. What exactly did they change?
Well, the core of Google's new strategy, it all comes from this really fundamental shift in how they think about what AI even means for the future of search.
You see, most people, myself included, thought AI would just be a substitute for basic search. You know, you need a phone number, you need a quick fact, AI gives it to you. But Google's data started showing something really surprising. Turns out, AI is actually expansionary. It's not just replacing the old stuff, it's unlocking this huge new wave of questions that people never even thought to ask before.
And Google Lens is the perfect example of this. Visual searches, we're talking about searching with your phone's camera, have exploded by a staggering 70% year over year. People are snapping pictures of their homework problems, their shoes, their houseplants, and asking AI these really complex questions. This is proof that there's a massive, brand new appetite for AI-driven curiosity.
So how do you take an insight like that and actually turn it into a product? Well, Google's response is basically a three-pronged attack, what you could call an AI trident, designed specifically for this new, expanded world of search.
So this trident has 3 sharp points. First, you've got AI overviews, which give you those quick, summarized answers right at the top of the results page. Second is the multimodal search through Lens that we just talked about for all your visual questions. And third, the new centerpiece of the whole thing, a fully conversational AI mode.
Now, AI mode. This is the most ambitious part of the whole strategy. It's designed to be this complete, end-to-end search experience. The idea is you can ask it literally anything, and it connects your question to Google's unbelievably deep and constantly changing universe of data.
And the scale of what's happening in the background here is just immense. I mean, AI mode doesn't just read the web. It is querying a shopping graph of 50 times billion products that gets updated 2 billion times an hour. It's tapping into 250 million places in Google Maps with real-time info, and it's searching the entire open web on top of all that. This is its secret weapon.
So this is not just a language model spitting out the next most likely word. It's a really sophisticated research agent. When you ask it a question, it does what Google calls a query fan-out. Think of it like sending out dozens of mini researchers all at once to go gather info, cross-reference it, and check its own work before it builds you a single high-quality answer. But look, this kind of technology and this kind of turnaround speed, it doesn't just come from a single breakthrough. It's really driven by a powerful internal philosophy. The VP of product leading this whole thing, Robby Stein, he calls it Embodying Relentless Improvement, and he breaks it down into 2 parts. First, just pure, constant, non-stop effort. And second, and this is the key part, a fundamental dissatisfaction with the way things are now, this perpetual drive to always make things better.
Stein even tells this story where he asks his wife for one word to describe him, and she just said, dissatisfied. But she explained that it wasn't about being unhappy. It was about this deep internal engine that's always looking at the world and seeing how it could be improved. That's the mindset.
In this philosophy, it's not new for him. It's been tested under fire before. To really see what it looks like in action, we can look back at one of Instagram's most controversial and ultimately one of its most successful launches, which Stein also led.
Yeah, remember when Instagram launched Stories to compete with Snapchat? That was his team, and they followed this exact playbook. First, they identified a real user problem, the pressure to be perfect on the permanent Instagram feed. Then, they learned from the ephemeral format that Snapchat had pioneered, this idea of content that disappears. And then the crucial third step, they focused relentlessly on making it feel native to Instagram. They didn't just copy it. No way. They relentlessly improved on all the frustrations of the original. They added features people were desperate for, like being able to upload from your camera roll, a simple way to just pause a story by holding your finger on the screen, and a whole bunch of unique creative tools that just felt like Instagram.
And this really gets at a powerful idea. Some features are so important they become formats. The feed is the classic example, right? Facebook perfected it, but now it's everywhere. LinkedIn, DoorDash, you name it. The argument is that if you don't adopt a successful new format, you're basically robbing your own users of a better product.
So, why does all this matter right now, today? Because we're not just watching companies launch cool new features. We are living through a critical inflection point for how we interact with information itself. The products being built and shipped right now by Google, by OpenAI, by everyone, they are actively rewiring our brains. The habits we form over the next year for how we find information, those are probably going to set the pattern for the next decade. The stakes are just incredibly high.
And that leaves us with one last kind of provocative thought to chew on. As AI gets better and better at predicting what we need, at understanding our context, and just actively delivering information to us before we even ask, will the very concept of searching for something just become a thing of the past? That's a fundamental question that's being decided as we speak.